Okay. There's something I was missing in my explanation. There are a few other type of types of black pill. One I experienced recently, it's substance abuse can also be a way of uh, finding the black pill. Just not to care about health and those sorts of things in general. I've heard a lot of, especially women, they say, I like to drink alcohol. I get drunk once a week, but recently I got drunk 3 days in a row. First I met some friends. Then we were out in the city and having fun and stuff. And I got pretty drunk. And then the next day I bought a bottle of vodka and 10 beers. And the beers was enough to get drunk. And the only thing I remember from the next day was that I started with a full bottle of vodka, and when I finished, then the next day I had nothing. And I still almost can't eat, even though it's two days ago. And I think substance abuse in general, it ties to, an escapism. That's also a type of black pill. Or maybe it's a denial of escapism, or when bad things happen. And but there is another level to it, because there's also the idea of thinking that health is important, and just that humans crave a type of permanency that life can't give them, because everything is ever changing. Everything. There's there's nothing called infinity. It's not really the topic, but in some sense that permanency is not really a part of existence, and to the extent that something could be permanent, then it's 100% certain that it doesn't pertain to humans and animals. And even the earth has changed a lot over the years. And also the notion that you should live forever, but I think I spoke about that in part 1. But just when, it's some kind of black pill just to say I don't give a fuck. And I also think it's a kind of black pill. Mental illness is also a kind of black pill. Because if you have hallucinations and stuff like that, then you can't even trust your senses. And drunkenness and other types of substance abuse Uh, they make uh, they make you come into a similar state where you can't really trust your senses. Uh, yeah, I think there also was another type of black pill. Mm. Uh, there's also certainly among mental illnesses than depression uh, is pretty black pilled. It's, I guess it's the black pill of, I don't know if I'm depressed. It's hard to distinguish if you're just down or depressed, but I would say I have a high functional depression, and I've had that for more than 2 years. And it started when I rejected knowledge. It's when it started. No, oh yeah, now I remember the other one. Yeah, but depression, I mean, it can take you to a level where you're like a living corpse. If you're catatonic, I only tried that for short periods, then I got out of bed, so I would call myself high functioning because I could do stuff. So, yeah. But the last type of black pill I think I know about, it's just beauty in general. I don't, I can't, the only thing I can see is beautiful. That's women. When someone says that, oh, it's some beautiful flowers, or it's a nice gift, or I don't, I don't get it. I can't see the beauty in anything anymore, other than women, and it's only my primal instincts that make me think women are beautiful. They just are. Certainly I can find, uh, if I'm looking at nihilism, then I guess I can find something else. But most of these things, they can be thought of in relation to nihilism. It's surely nihilism is I mean, most philosophy I learned about it's just uh, most philosophy I have dealt with, it's in the, I mean, it was in relation to nihilism. It was kind of how I got into philosophy. It was after I rejected knowledge as having value, then I got into existential nihilism. Uh, Meaning and purpose. No meaning and purpose. I remember I asked myself for 4 months what the meaning of life was. I never found a response. And yeah, moral nihilism it's also a type of black pill. Epistemological, but I already explained that. Ontological, the being. Metaphysical or religious, it's the first one, I think. Mm. There is also something called mereological nihilism. It's nothing is a proper part of anything. I never really heard about that. Compositional nihilism. Is the position that objects with proper parts do not exist. Not only objects in space, but only objects existing in time do not have any temporal parts. Only basic building blocks without parts exist. I don't know. Existential, it's the hardest one to overcome. Existential, it's the yeah. Moral nihilism, political nihilism. There's also medical nihilism. I guess that's a part of epistemological. I don't know. Yeah, but it's also a black pill that morals are uh, morality. It's not objective. That's why I can't say something like no one should have children. Yeah, it's an artificial construct. Morality. And if you don't believe that, then you can just visit different cultures. Most of them agree that murder is wrong. But yeah, but you can also argue from nature and Darwinism and I mean there are biological reasons behind what is wrong and what isn't. Like don't rape. It has mostly something to do with a subject uh, behaving in a way that's wrong for another subject. I mean, there are infringing on their freedom, the other subjects' freedom. Like the Greeks found out that property rights was important. People could own things in peace, something like that. But I don't know, moral nihilism, it's hard to argue if you're arguing for some kind of uh, anarchy. You know, if everyone can just kill each other and do whatever they want, then nothing works. It's very destructive. Yeah. Yeah, but I thought a lot about that. Nothing is beautiful. It's just is. But in a way, then I think, in a way, then life shouldn't be bad or be a piece of shit. Objectively, I mean, existence and everything about it should be neutral, I think. In a way. So why I'm making negative value judgment? It's the emotion you feel by the existential nihilism, I think. Emotionally, I'm not equipped to handle it. I can't. I think it's my emotionality against my frontal lobe. It's a fight between those two. But yeah, at one point I wanted to find out what the meaning was, but now I just know there's no meaning, so I say fuck the world. I don't need to ask the question anymore. The woman I knew, she said that it's okay to understand that everything is meaningless, but the way you make life worthwhile, it's if you can do some stupid magic, don't care about it. If you can live anyway at peace, then it makes life harder, and it certainly then life doesn't seem eternal, like an eternal pain. But I can't do it. I've tried for years, and the only thing I can see, it's just life is stupid. There's no good reason. The whole, the genesis of the whole universe, cosmos, it's, I don't know how it happened. I don't know how the cosmos was created. but I know a few things about physics in general, and mostly the explanations, it's just, something about energy. It's just some equations. And if you write those equations correctly, probably very complicated equations, then you can see that a completely empty space is unstable or something like that. It's just some physical explanation why everything exists. So in a way, then the whole universe is like a magic trick. There's no good reason behind it. Nothing in science gives you a satisfying explanation for meaning. It just gives you a description. And it doesn't make your life meaningful. And I also played with the idea of a god, and what if God is real? And then we just have to serve his will. So it actually doesn't make life better. Uh, it doesn't give you a meaning of life. It only gives you a divine meaning of life. It's not an objective meaning. And if we had an objective meaning, then your life would be less free. So that's not really a meaning either. So and I can't see why meaning is constructive. I don't really believe in that. I don't believe in existentialism, because you can't just say something is meaningful and something is a purpose and then it is a purpose and meaningful. You're just saying it gives you a purpose. It doesn't mean it gives you a purpose. It's a delusion. It's lying to yourself. So it's an impossible question. What is the meaning of life? That's why I say life is stupid. There's no good meaning behind any of it. And therefore existence is stupid. And when I say life, then I don't mean living organisms. I mean all existence. The whole universe shouldn't exist. It's just a stupid mistake. It's the juxtaposition between objective reality and the subject, I think. Maybe I should go more into that. So, I'm an anti-existence. I believe in anti-existence. of everything. Not just anti-natalism or evilism. Uh, the pain of life, it's mostly unbearable when you focus on it instead of focusing on other things. And it's the mistake that atheists make, and the mistake that I make in a way, I think. The question of meaning in life, it's the only question you can't ask. I heard a philosopher say that, I don't remember his name. I'm done. I'm done.